Hey everybody, this is Dan with Pain Free You. As you can tell, I am shooting inside. As I go back and I preview some of these videos, I do realize that for some of us, the cicadas can be a little bit distracting or irritating. So I just wanted to shoot inside briefly. They're still screaming out there. I'm hoping they've only got another couple of weeks left before they're kind of done for the season. Today's topic, choice. And you hear me say a lot, we need to choose what to think about. We need to do, choice is a big one. Decision is also another word I like to use a lot. Because if we chalk up most of what goes on in our mind to things that we can't control, right? Like, I can't stop thinking negatively, or my brain is just making me think all of these fearful, anxious thoughts. You're basically in a victim mode, right? And I don't use that term lightly or in an insulting way. But if you truly believe that you don't have a choice as to what you think, what you feel, what you do, it's going to be really, really tough to make any significant changes in who you are and how you perceive the world, how you perceive yourself in the world, and thereby how to get yourself out of this pain or other chronic symptoms that you've got. So let's go through a couple examples about choice. Somebody was asking me a question that says, hey, what do I do when things happen and I blow up, right? Kids, for example, they're infuriating. How do I stop from getting so angry? And so between every event and our reaction, there's a brief pause. Sometimes it's really short, but there is a pause there. And during that pause is when you get to make a choice. Am I going to react in a positive way, a neutral way, or a negative way, right? We could bend over to put our shoes on and wham, back spasm. How do we react to that? We have a choice. I know the immediate reaction is, ow! Okay, that's kind of natural, right? But after that, we have a choice. Do we decide to freak out? Or do we just kind of breathe through it and say, okay, what's this telling me? What do I need to learn from this? What emotions do I need to feel that I have been pushing away or not allowing to come into the emotional open house? And if you don't know what I'm talking about there, go back and search for emotional open house. You can go to YouTube, Pain Free You channel, search little icon, emotional open house. You'll find it. So we have a choice. We can choose what we think about. And, if you say, my brain just goes negative all the time, right? We're actually choosing to ignore all of the positive things, right? We can choose to look at our pain all day long, or we can choose to look at the things that are working in our life. Hey, I got a roof over my head. Awesome, right? I've got an income stream from my other business. Not so much this yet. I'll get there. We can choose to look at the good things about our partners, our friends, our family, our kids, our parents. Or we can choose to look at the awful stuff. And choice can often be the make it or break it between whether or not you're happy or miserable. Because we can truly choose to be miserable. And if you are walking around miserable all the time, always focused on everything negative that's going on, and really perceiving the outside world and even our inner world as everything sucks, that's a choice. Because somebody else in the identical situation could be going through life going, hey, I got it pretty good, right? And I'm not diminishing anything that you're experiencing. In some cases, there are outside influences on our lives that are pretty difficult. Abusive situations, whether it be physical or emotional, verbal abuse, right? There are definitely challenging people that we have to live with. We can't choose our parents. No, we can't. But we can choose to manage or limit our interaction with them, right? And even more importantly, even that, we feel like I should go see my mom or dad or whatever. So we don't even feel that we have a choice. I'm a good kid, so I have to go see my parents. And maybe our parents can be infuriating, right? You know, I'm 54 years old. My mom still will sometimes start to tell me what she thinks I should be doing. And I can simply choose to view that as really freaking annoying and get pissed off about it. And look, there are a lot of times when, all that does is bring up the disapproval that we received as a kid, and now they're still disapproving of us, and I'm an adult. How many times have parents insulted your parenting skill? Like they did a wonderful job, right? Now they're going to tell you how to be a parent when in fact they messed up your childhood, right? But you can choose your response. If one of our parents starts nitpicking on us, it's, oh, you're not a good parent, you should do it this way or that way. You can choose to say, all right, Mom, gotta go. And shake your head and go. It is what it is, right? I'm not going to choose to allow that circumstance to ruin the rest of my day or the rest of my life, right? We have the choice to decide our thoughts. We have the choice to decide our mood and our behaviors and our actions. And when I say don't focus on the pain, focus on something else, it's a choice. I'm not telling you to do stuff that's impossible. Yes, I agree. It may be challenging to not focus all day long on our symptoms and our pain and whatever else is going on. But it is a choice. And we literally, if we have the ability to choose to ignore all of the positive things in life and choose to focus on the pain and suffering, recognize that that's a choice. It's not your brain doing it. It's not, you can't help it. I was raised this way, right? And for anybody who blames their parents for being the way they are, I get it. I totally get it. We are the way we are because of our parents. But honestly, if we stay that way for the rest of our life, that's a choice. That's on you. That's on me, right? Yes, we are the way we are because of the way we were raised and the experiences we had. In some cases, really horrible, traumatic experiences. And that's kind of why we're the way we are. But look, we're wise adults now, and we have the ability to think and make choices. And if you don't like something about the way you are, you have a choice to make some changes, right? And so if what I'm telling you pisses you off a little bit, it's because in some cases we've been delegating most of the choices to the outside world. How many of us went to college and majored in something that we didn't really want to do because our parents told us to? We gave up that choice. How many people married somebody that they were kind of settling for, they weren't thrilled, but they chose to settle instead of waiting for the right person? And I know that may have pushed some buttons there, but we choose all sorts of things. We choose to stay with people because the choice of leaving seems more challenging. We choose to focus on the pain and suffering because it's hard sometimes to feel positive about our futures, right? So happiness, misery, it's a choice. And, when you say I can't versus I can, just that simple statement is a choice. You are stating and choosing to say, I can't do this. I can't do this, right? And what we say most often we end up believing. So is saying I can't do this really helpful? How about switching it to the exact opposite, 180-degree turn? Whenever you go, oh, I can't do this, stop and go, I can do it. And just realize that every time you say I can't, it really means I won't. I probably can, but I won't. I'm choosing not to. I'm choosing not even to believe it's possible so that I don't have to try something difficult. And I know I'm pushing buttons here, and if anybody's getting offended by this, I'm not intending it that way. I'm just trying to let you know that we have a choice about a lot more in our lives than you realize. We can even choose what we believe, right? You know, if you don't like a certain thing that's happening in the world, you can look for an alternate belief system and choose that. You know, we can actually choose our beliefs. Previous to finding Dr. Sarno and this whole mind-body thing and this distraction pain process, we were believing that we were broken, that it was a structural problem, that there's something wrong with me that the doctors can't find or they can't fix, and I'm really messed up, right? And we've come to believe that. But now that you have gained the knowledge and the insight of stress illness, TMS, which I like to joke is too much stress, you can choose to believe that the body is actually not at fault, and that it is our emotional worlds, it is our stress levels, tension levels, our past history of not resolving emotions, right? And that creates this whole chaos inside of our body. So choice. What do you guys think about that? Are there any choices that you are resisting? Is there any choices that you need to make about your beliefs, about your actions, about your focus, about your thoughts, about your mood, about whether or not you're going to choose to look for joy and happiness instead of looking at and focusing at pain or suffering or symptoms that we're dealing with? It is a choice, and when you exercise it, looking towards how can this choice help me, boy, can that shift your world really quickly. And I'm seeing that based on, you know, a lot of the feedback I'm getting. I get a lot of private messages and some comments on the Facebook page and group that people are choosing to see the world differently, and it's really making a difference, and their symptoms are abating. So it's really, really cool. So remember, in any situation that you are encountering, there's always a choice that you can make. You may not be able to avoid the situation, but you can always choose your response. So with that, choose wisely. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the peace and quiet of me shooting inside. And like I said, probably going to do this for a little bit until that, you know, the cicadas stop screaming out there, because it was actually kind of annoying me. I had a gentleman email me and say, oh, these cicadas are driving me nuts. Can you shoot indoors? But yet at the same time, I get some people commenting on the group, I love that you shoot outdoors and we get to hear the nature and, you know, the insects, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And so, choice. You can choose to be really pissed off by those cicadas, or you can choose to kind of tune it out, listen to the message anyway, or you can choose to actually like the sound of the cicadas because that's nature, right? And it's this wonderful world we live in where we've got all sorts of interesting things. Right now I've chosen to come inside. I may choose to go back outside in the next video. Don't know. But that's the key. We all have a choice. And keep in mind, choices don't have to be permanent. If you make a choice and it's not working out for you, you can choose something different. So look at your choices that you're making on a daily basis and see if there's something you might want to choose differently. So I appreciate you guys and gals. Thank you so much for all your support and love. And we'll talk to you soon. If you like this, give it a thumbs up, share. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to be notified every time I post a video, click that little notification bell on YouTube. And for anybody who's looking for closed captioning, go to YouTube and watch the videos there. You can click that CC button and it will put it up on the screen. There's a lot of people around the world where English is a second language, and seeing it on the screen can definitely help them, or for anybody who's hearing disabled. So once again, love you guys and gals. Appreciate your support, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.